Good Thursday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversation Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Well, we made it over the hump, and we're in the home stretch toward the weekend. We, of course, have your news headlines coming up on this Thursday. We have the truth of the day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and in today's entertainment spotlight, you've been part of my conversation with Dr. Robert Ballard about his new book, Into the Deep. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with their Thursday headlines. In international news, in UK for first foreign visit, Biden announced his vaccine plan. Embarking on the first overseas trip of his term, President Joe Biden is eager to reassert the United States on the world stage, steadying European allies deeply shaken by his predecessor and pushing democracy along the way. Biden has set the stakes for his 8-day trip in sweeping terms, believing the West must publicly demonstrate it can compete economically with China as the world emerges from the coronavirus pandemic. Shortly before arriving at Royal Air Force Mildenhall, where Biden was to speak to U.S. troops, people briefed on the matter confirmed that the Biden administration had brokered an agreement with Pfizer to purchase 500 million COVID-19 vaccine doses to be donated to 92 lower-income countries and the African Union over the next year. 200 million doses, enough to fully vaccinate 100 million people, will be shared this year, according to two people briefed on the matter, with the balance to be donated in the first half of 2022. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan told reporters on Wednesday on Air Force One that Biden was committed to sharing vaccines because it was in the public health and strategic interest of the U.S. As Biden embarks on his first foreign trip, he is aiming to show that democracies are the countries that can best deliver solutions for people everywhere. As he said in his joint session address, "We were the arsenal of democracy in World War II," Sullivan said. "We're going to be the arsenal of vaccines over this next period to help end the pandemic." Before leaving Washington, Biden told reporters the trip is about making clear to the leaders of China and Russia that the United States and Europe are tight. Building toward his trip-ending summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin, Biden will aim to reassure European capitals that the United States can once again be counted on as a dependable partner to stop Moscow's aggression both on their eastern front and their internet battlefields. The Associated Press says the trip will be far more about messaging than actions or deals, and the paramount priority for Biden is to convince the world that his Democratic administration is not just a fleeting deviation in the trajectory of American foreign policy that many allies fear drifted toward a more transactional outlook under the former president. In national news, Louisiana Police Unit probed over driver's arrest. The same Louisiana State Police unit where troopers stunned, punched, and dragged Ronald Green on video during a deadly 2019 arrest is now under internal investigation by a secret panel over whether its officers are systematically targeting black motorists for abuse. The panel, whose existence was confirmed to the Associated Press by 4 people familiar with the process, was set up in response to Green's death, as well as 3 other violent stops of black men, one who was punched, stunned, and hoisted to his feet by his hair braids in a body camera video obtained by the Associated Press. Another was beaten after he was handcuffed, and yet another who was slammed 18 times with a flashlight. "Every time I told him to stop, he'd hit me again," said Aaron Bowman, whose flashlight pummeling left him with 3 broken ribs, a broken jaw, a broken wrist, and a gash to his head that required 6 staples to close. "I don't want to see this happen to nobody, not to my worst enemy," he said. The panel began working a few weeks ago to review thousands of body camera videos over the past 2 years, involving as many as a dozen white troopers, at least 4 of whom were involved in Green's arrest. In business news, U.S. stock indexes veered lower while meme stocks swing again. Major U.S. indexes veered lower on Wall Street in Wednesday trading as a pullback in banks and industrial companies offset gains elsewhere in the market. Stocks championed by hordes of online retail investors, the meme stocks as they have been known, were volatile once again. The S&P 500 fell 0.1%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 126 points, or 0.4%. The tech-heavy NASDAQ was lifted by the same big tech companies that have pushed that index generally higher for the last 18 months. Microsoft rose 0.5%, and Amazon added 0.6%. And finally, in entertainment news, CMT awards to honor country stars as well as pop and R&B acts. Knight and Mickey Guyton performed together, and Chris Stapleton and fellow guitar slayer Her joined forces on stage at Wednesday night's show, celebrating the year's best country music videos. Legend was nominated for Video of the Year for his appearance on Carrie Underwood's Hallelujah, while Keith Urban and Pink's One Too Many also competed for the top prize. Both videos were nominated for Collaborative Video of the Year. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's on time for the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. Mary Ellen, it's all yours.
Hi, this is Mary Ellen with your Truth of the Day. Embrace patience. When you struggle with impatience, you will find yourself feeling stuck, frustrated, and unable to make positive changes in your life. A peaceful and patient mindset will provide the endurance you need to outlast any challenges or obstacles you may face. By focusing your mind on peacefulness and patience, regardless of your circumstances, you empower yourself with the ability to stay balanced and optimistic. Now, you can focus your energies on working through your obstacles with determination and hope. Today, choose to gain a greater sense of patience within yourself, as this will create peace in all your experiences as you go about and enjoy the day.
Dr. Robert Ballard is speaking today's Entertainment Spotlight. We're here on Conversations Daily News. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with the Entertainment Spotlight. Dr. Robert Ballard joined me recently on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about his life and new book, Into the Deep. Here's a bit of our conversation.
One of the things that really comes out in the book, Dr. Ballard, and it goes to something I hope our audience really takes in. You are known for some extraordinary things, even as the subtitle of the book alludes to, Finding the Titanic. But you have always been a person that's been on the hunt in life, been curious about life. Do you think that's one of the things that's kept life fun for you?
Yeah, I was a kid, an ADHD kid, but fortunately I was able to go on the Outback, and my parents would just say, be home before it's dark, and I would just take off and turn over rocks. I've always been curious, I've always been an explorer, but I needed to harness myself. Not only do I have a lot of energy, I'm also dyslexic, and it's a great gift if you figure it out, and I was fortunate to figure it out.
And you're very open and honest about, learning and what that was like for you, Dr. Ballard, as well as, of course, what do you think has kind of driven you along the way. But I think it also is so inspiring for other people. Have you found that to be the case as you shared your story? Have people have been inspired by you?
Well, I've been mentoring a lot now. I'm at 79. I have an amazing team of people. I think of them as my extended family. Yes, I have a lot of kids of all persuasions. Our core of exploration, 55% women, every face in our country, every kind of wiring diagram you can have. I love that diversity, that each of them have a different, unique talent. I always tell people, don't try to be someone else. Be yourself, because if you try to be someone else, you can only be second. But you're unique, and you need to take your unique skills and turn it into something special.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversations Daily News, but we'll have you guys on tomorrow to wrap up this week. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Let's make today amazing. Take care.